People ask me what kind of a painter am I, and I tell them that I'm an abstract surrealist, a figurative abstract surrealist. And I'm figurative. That means that people can understand and access my work. And I'm an abstractionist. That means that it's not realistic. It's beyond realism, and that makes it surrealism. So I'm a figurative abstract surrealist.
This picture is called Human Inner Essence. I do a lot of pictures about people, and this one is the human inner essence of people.
I started painting when I was about 5, probably even earlier than that, but my parents began to recognize me as an artist when I was 5. And I drew a picture of an artist at an artist easel, drawing a picture. So that image was taken by my art teacher and put into an exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. That was when I was about 7 or 8, and so I had my first show at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, at least one image in a children's exhibit. I think growing up in Los Angeles influenced me. I think I'm a California artist, and I'm influenced by what I call light and freedom and multiculturalism. And that, of course, plus the many artists that I grew up liking and loving. And so no artist is born without a culture and without their own filters. And that's the way you view the world. You get socialized into the world, and you are influenced by the culture that you're born into and the people around you. Plus, of course, all of the art history that you grow through, understanding how they use color, how they use line, how they use space and texture, and a whole combination of other things. Sometimes I describe how my art is derived as if you think about a big pot and you let it bubble and boil, and you throw in there Picasso and Miro and Dali and many other artists, then my art comes from that direction.
That one is called Jazz. It's a etching in aquatint. One of my themes is jazz. It runs throughout my pictures. Music is often in evidence. This picture is called Rainbow People, and I'm a sociologist and an abstract surrealist, and so I like to draw pictures that have relationships of people, and I like to play with the design. Design is a major factor in all artwork, and so you see in this picture a combination of forms and color fields and design and linear elements that all go together to the theme of the picture, which is a multicultural picture. I think that I'm a colorist. That is, I concentrate carefully on colors, and I study the way they work together. But then in all of my painting, I think I use a number of different things: color, design, texture, the way space is used, positive and negative, so that you're combining all of these many different elements all at the same time. And your brain is really just going through a problem-solving process, so that you're combining the many multiple variations and permutations to derive a solution to the problem that solves the space issue and the color issue. And I like to actually clash colors sometimes.
so that you actually are seeing a color that isn't there, but because of the clash of the colors, you're seeing a part of an image that is in your imagination. So some of the themes that I use often are figuratives, as I mentioned before, and I do flowers and trees and birds and couples. I do a lot of couples, and I talk about relationships between the human being and society and their relationship, between a person, the mind and the self, and between the self and another person, like romance. Love was a simple concept, but it's a total abstraction. There's nothing about love that's anything other than an abstraction. So I put that into my paintings. Well, I think one of the unique features of a surrealist is they actually work right from the middle of their head into their canvas. And the imagery comes instantaneously. It's not necessarily planned, although sometimes I do draw out my pictures in advance. But if I draw it out, I'm free to go beyond whatever's there. So I just work directly onto the canvas with a quick viewpoint of an image, and then I begin this problem-solving process that has to do with the way you work with space and colors and textures and all the other elements that lead to a finished picture. You know you're finished when you've resolved major issues of space and color and combinations of things, so that you feel that you've resolved the issues in the imagery. Ahead into it, a multicultural adventure is an example of the way in which I resolve issues. But really every picture that I do is going through that same process, so that you go through this process of resolution of issues. And when you get to the point where you feel you've done what you can for the time being, that's when you stop. When I know I'm finished, I actually sign my name. Usually I don't sign it before I'm finished. As what some people would call a mature artist, although I think I'm always an emerging artist, you strive to continue to be able to produce good quality work. And of course that's subject to everybody who's looking at your work. An artist wants to accomplish an expression of self. So self-expression is an important issue. And the way that you present it, hopefully, is you attract an audience's ability to understand and intellectually get satisfaction, and to get something more than just satisfaction, but an actual absorption into and taking out of the picture that fulfills something within themselves. So viewing art is an interactive process. So as an artist, you hope to accomplish a finished picture that absorbs your audience and gives them some kind of intellectual stimulation that is self-satisfying to the viewer. In the case of a viewer who likes it enough, maybe they'll actually buy it, which is also a nice thing for the artist, because every artist, although they don't produce necessarily for the market, they hope that the market will give them certain satisfactions over time.